welcome again to another episode of the Most Trade Mentors. Today we are going to be introducing to you Mr. Adam Wall. Today myself, James Alford, and Mr. Theo Cook from Bowen's Garage. We're going to be going through some questions that we've got for each other, and hopefully we can sprinkle a tiny weeny bit of knowledge onto Adam that he can take away and maybe find useful or not. So we'll see. So first of all, Adam, if you could be so kind as to tell us who you are, your information about your business, how you like your journey to pan out, and a little bit of background on you. And if there's anything we want to go into, we'll sort of dig it out if we can.
No, of course. Yeah, well, we've got, I set up Daytona Car Sales with a business partner. So we worked together for 8 years ago for a company called Sutton Park, who at the time they were a Kia main dealer. And we stayed in contact. We did go to separate dealerships still within the group, but we stayed in contact. But he'd already been there for 17 years. And when we stayed in contact, we did have a little conversation, and I said, what do you think about setting up on our own? This was probably November. In fact, no, July 22 was when we first had the conversation. And we had a little go, because we were in the trades, people did come to us and ask us if we wanted to buy cars. So we didn't really put much into it to start with. So we didn't really entertain buying cars off people until we'd had this conversation. So started from there. We were just selling out of a 2-post garage. So nothing really set up. And then as things started to progress, we bought and sold a few cars. I don't know how much detail I can go into about those figures and stuff.
As much as you want, or as not as you
Dred's who's listening.
Everyone. Don't need to mention any names or anything, but like just to give us a rough idea as to what you've been through or how much you've sort of like dabbled, etc.
So through the garage, the 2-post garage that we had, we started off quite quickly, and we did sell a few cars. But so started off with a Modus, bought it £2,100, sold it for £4,200. So to start with, me and Josh put in enough money to buy that first car. Josh is my business partner, and then we moved on to bought a Clio 2.5, sold it for 3. I think at that point we thought we were getting somewhere, and we bought an Audi S4. This was the first time using Sytner auction, so at the time we couldn't get onto many platforms. And then at that point we bought something that we liked, and we kept that car for 6 months, and we made £150 loss. So at that point we did think we need to be a little bit more sensible with things. Then we bought a Mini. Bought a Logan and a Rio. They were both listed as runners, turned up on my drive, both non-runners. Logan needed a new clutch, and the Rio needed a timing belt on that one.
Where were they from?
Copart. But they were listed as runners. So you learn from your mistakes. So yeah, we went through that journey, and then we decided last year we decided to look for a premises, which we found the journey wasn't as straightforward as it seems. We did try to go for a couple more, which were in the Birmingham area, which is where we're based. But everything is so congested around there that we didn't want to really be on top of those dealers. So we branched out, and we found a little tiny pitch in Worcester, which can fit 20 to 25 cars. And yeah, we set up. Our first month in there was last January. Sorry, last month, the 1st of Jan.
So you're full time with it now, properly full time.
Yeah.
So I've got this. I think is this where you are at the moment?
So yes, along that road. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's fair enough. Okay. Cool. So it's just trying to sort of try and gauge where you are at the moment, on the map, etc. So,
how far out the town centre?
Do you know what, Theo? It's in a really good location.
Yeah, 'cause I know Worcester pretty well, you see, so.
Yeah, you're not far, are you? Just a bit further down.
Yeah, just like yeah.
You can go and sit on Theo's lap one day next week, can't you?
Yeah, not far. And of course, Gloucester, Cheltenham, Bristol.
Yeah, you're in a good spot. Yeah.
Stratford's not so far away as well. And they're not too far for Birmingham, because you're surprising. The people that we've met so far say that they would never buy a car from Birmingham. So we're glad to be out of there.
Yeah, I think I think that's a good solution, to be honest.
Good start.
Sorry, I'm gonna go into a bit more information. So you said that you had a workshop with 2 ramps in it. Were you doing sort of mechanicals? Were you doing like a little bit of salvage repair? What were you doing in there? Because it sounds like have you got mechanical experience?
No. So we didn't have a ramp. We had a 2-post garage. So just a like a garage that you get in a house.
Just a thing you garage with.
Right. Yeah, just where you drive your cars in and out of. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. In my head, I'm like, oh, that's the 2-post ramp. Like, what sort of mischief have they got up to there? That sounds great.
No, so to go back to the beginning, so from experience, I was a sales executive with Sutton Park for 8 years, and then my business partner Josh, he's a fully qualified mechanic, and he did that.
So you got a yin and yang relationship there.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people say with partnerships it doesn't always work out, but when we got so much experience, I had the conversation with Josh. Because he did it, his first day was on 1st of Feb and mine was 1st of Jan because he had a longer notice period. I said, I don't understand how people can actually do it on their own, because the amount of running around that I had to do in January was ridiculous.
We've got sort of like a rough history of where you are. Obviously, your business partner's obviously not here today. And I've looked on the website at the moment and is it 6 cars that are available? Is that right?
Yes. We have got 9, but 3 are just going through prep at the minute. And there's 10 on there altogether, but 4 of them are sold while they're reserved, waiting to be collected.
Yeah. So you've had a busy little January then?
We have. We sold 6 so far. 6 in Feb. Sold 1 in Jan.
Oh, you got a really good spot then.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
The website looks nice.
Thank you. We've been asking our customers a lot of feedback about the website, because it's not a cheap thing to buy. And we wanted to make it to be as professional as possible.
Yeah. How come? Where's the Daytona come from?
Well, when we were setting up, we just sat down together, and my business partner had a bit more of an input into it because of his background with cars, and he likes the more luxurious cars. And it was a color. He mentioned it was about a color going for Daytona, or it was Riviera blue or Daytona something on a Porsche, I think.
Right.
And as soon as he said it, I just said, yeah, let's go for it. It sounds great. It'll look great on the side. We could already picture it in advance.
I saw Daytona and I thought it was maybe some sort of like underlying American NASCAR, maybe one of you is a massive Donald Trump fan. I was pleased you didn't name it Riviera, because what I would say is anyone that names their car Riviera automatically makes me associate with Torquay and the English Riviera. So we had this discussion last week about like you can take the name and go wherever you want to go, so it's not relevant to where you are, which is decent. On the website front, I know obviously you're still starting up at the moment. I know Theo said that he quite liked it. Obviously, it's okay, but I would probably. Is there any way that you can maybe change the initial first background photo to a photo of where you are, or is it not presentable in a way that you'd like it yet?
I have thought about that quite a lot. And we are in a position where we could take a photo of the front, and I just wanted it to be full of cars, where now they're dotted around a little bit, because we have got a few cars on there, but it's still room to put them at better angles, make it look a little bit more busier. So I wanted to give that a couple more months, but it is something that we have thought of.
Yeah, I think maybe that would be nice, because it makes it more personal. It makes it more real.
Yeah.
And obviously at the moment you got a mobile number on there as well. I don't know if that's something, maybe you can get like a pocket landline so it looks like you're calling a landline number. It's just people are so cynical nowadays. It's just something that if I was buying a car, especially like, I think you're going to try and, tickle your way towards the nicer end of the vehicle market. You got a £14,000 Mini there. You'd probably be expecting to call a landline if you're going to part with £14,000, I would have thought.
Do you think the same with the email as well?
I can't actually. This is something that I was going to come to in a minute, but I'm not quite there yet. With email Daytona Car Sales Outlook.com. There's nothing wrong with an Outlook.com. So you don't necessarily have to have it the same as the same as email and same as the website address. That's not a problem. But I would look at getting maybe a pocket landline or an actual landline, whatever works for you, what's most efficient.
If you go digital on the, if you go internet based on the landline, then you can just have my landline number just comes straight to me anyway on my mobile.
Oh, through to your mobile phone. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a note of pocket landline. Trying to set up the business, there's so many things that you need to think of. You have to bounce ideas off of the people, otherwise you.
Yeah, of course. That's what this is.
That's why the podcast, listening to it, has been really helpful, and the dealer chat stuff, because listening to the way that other people have so many different ways of doing things, and you can just pick little bits out of what everyone does.
It still frazzles my brain now.
Yeah, but it does.
All these different guys saying different things, and
you go with one thing one week, and you think, oh yeah, that's the best thing to do. And then someone says the complete opposite.
It makes me second guess every week, and we've been doing it for donkeys.
Listening to the podcast always makes me second guess about whether to use Auto Trader or not.
Oh. Yeah, we have this conversation every week.
That one today. Good for today. Okay, so I'm gonna. Obviously, we haven't got a massive amount of information on you, so obviously I can't go into too much detail as to what I think you could or couldn't change. But what I will say at the moment is obviously the Find Us part on your website, it's not where you are. So that would be my first stumbling block. And second of all, I couldn't find you on Google. There was no sign of you on Google. So obviously nobody can leave you a review, and most people type you into Google to find you because nobody knows any roads anymore. So I assume that you haven't set up a Google business yet.
We do have a Google business page. I'm not sure. If you type in Daytona Car, it depends whether you've searched in Daytona Car Sales or Daytona Automotive.
Daytona Automotive somewhere else, isn't it?
Yeah, so Daytona Car Sales in Worcester, it comes up.
Yeah, you got 5 reviews, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
Right.
I
just put in Daytona Cars Worcester and it came up.
Just because we're so close, Theo. We're in the catchment area. I've got a few questions as well to run through. There's a few things I'm unsure of.
Because at the moment it shows a housing estate where you are. That's what it says. That's probably why I missed that. It says you're based in Leicester.
I think that's
It's another one then. It's another Daytona Cars Limited.
Yeah.
Daytona Car Sales. I cannot find a Google business for. It might come up closer to Theo, but I can't find it.
I've got it here.
I can see the website.
5 Google reviews, 5 star. 5 star, very good.
Thank you very much.
There's a few pictures as well. Oh, it used to be did it used to be the Mini place?
Used to be a Mini Direct, yeah. So it was.
Yeah, I know where you are.
It was a VW specialist, and then it was a Mini and BMW specialist.
You can get more than 20 cars on there. James would have 70 cars on there.
It said 40 on the advert, but looking at the space, I'm not sure. That's whether you want customers to get in and out of the cars or not.
Yeah,
that's irrelevant. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Nice spot. It's in a good road, so
yeah, it's a busy main road. It's the main road into Worcester.
Right. Hopefully that I'm going to mess about and try and find that, but I seem to be struggling to find that. So if I'm struggling, that's not cool. Okay. So you've got some questions for us. Go for gold, please.
Yes. So at the minute, what we've been trying to do is get a varied selection of cars to see what sells best in the area. But I don't know whether, because it's been a specialist place before, I don't know whether to look down the specialist route or just go for different makes, models, sizes.
I was going to say, when you're looking at the stock, it does look a bit scattergun. So obviously you've got that Mini at nearly 14 grand. You've got a Fiat 500. You've got an Audi that's a bit older. Yeah. At the minute, obviously, you are just trying to figure out. I think really you need to sell what you want to. We say this all the time, but you're going to have to sell what you want to sell and what you think will sell. So if you specialists there before, I don't think means you have to have specialists there again.
No.
because it was a mini specialist. I think they've been there, done that, haven't they? And I would do something completely fresh if it was me.
Yeah. So I think me and my business partner, we did chat about whether to go the specialist route, and we really just can't come up with a
What were you selling at?
I was Sutton Park Group. I was so it was a Kia dealer. So I was new Kias and all used cars.
I mean, if I was, it depends how much you knew about them, but I guess a fair bit. Then I would say if you know them pretty well, and you obviously know specs and stuff like that, I'd probably get a few Kias and Hyundais in to start with.
Yeah. Okay.
They're reliable. They're always good sellers, and you know them, and your mechanic and your business partner will know them as well, I guess. So I'd probably get a few of those in if you can do. They're always good news anyway.
That's a really good idea, Theo. I cannot fault that. So that is, and I think as well, like when you, especially if you're quite fresh out of the box, if you come out of there and you know more than the customer about the product, it normally shocks them.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed the amount of times when a customer does, like we sell a bit of everything and you can't know everything about everything. But when you go somewhere and the salesman knows more about the car than you do, they're like, oh Christ, that's impressive. And it immediately instills confidence. A lot of the time our guys, we couldn't tell you half the spec about half of our vehicles. We do sometimes rely on what the customer's done research wise. So I think that could massively go in your favour.
I would have you could have on your website, you could have our story or,
and the background
history. And you can say, well, look, we've been working at Kia for 8 years and business partner's been however many years. And then if you do have, say out of your 20 cars, you have 25% of them are Kias and Hyundais, I think that'll automatically breed confidence in the customer that you're going to know what you're talking about. You're not going to stock rubbish ones. I know they're not.
You know the specs. You know the specs to buy. You'll be there like, oh, this this is why I've got this, and everyone will be like, they'll type them in on the internet. I'll be like, oh, that garage, they specialise it. They've got one, that spec, job done, and it'll be a transactional phone call. They'll be ringing you up going, I know that you know what that car is. You're a specialist. It's what I want. Quick and easy, lovely jubbly. Pretty much what Theo does with his mileage stuff.
And it won't just help when you're selling them, but it'll also help when you're buying them, because your mechanic will know that's a bit rattly, so that's the timing chain. Okay, cool. You'll know obviously clutches on Kias and Hyundais are not fantastic. So I think it will help you on both. I know they're not
all the major work. If you need any major work doing, he'll be able to do it with his eyes shut.
Yeah, that's true. And we didn't look at that because, of course, you're right in saying that the Kias, Hyundais are probably not the most appealing cars, and that's why we probably dismissed that they sell.
I massively disagree about them being desirable. Chops goes absolutely mental for a Hyundai. From a sales perspective, they are one of the only cars that we ever have on the forecourt, the Kias and Hyundais. And they just guarantee, it's almost like a guarantee how long they're going to be there, even more so than a Ford Focus. The people that come in are pretty much the same across the board with the same amount of expectations. So if you want a guaranteed, goal every game, that is how you would do it with those cars, I would say.
It's a 20 goals a season striker, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't know how you made that up.
Oh, thank you. That's a very good bit of advice. I think that may be something that we can have a look at.
And I'm not saying just be absolute specialists in them, but if you had a few,
but maybe get a couple more because we know
that you've been there. I think it would just make a bit of sense, especially when you're starting out. Your warranty costs will be low as well because they don't go wrong particularly, do they? So,
and it could be a little handle on your website as well, like Theo said. If you do a little story about you, but a little handle on your website, because there will be people that will do a 200-mile search radius for going for Kia Hyundai specialist, and some people will only buy a car off a specialist, and they'll want to ring you up and quiz you about it, and that's how it'll work. And you'll be able to go, I know all of those things. There's nothing worse than ringing up someone that says they're a specialist.
And I can't imagine there are a lot of Kia and Hyundai specialists. So maybe,
and I think it can help you with. You could, and obviously then you can, if you are a specialist, then you can probably command a little bit more money for those cars as well. So, we are low mileage specialists, and we probably do charge a bit more than other places elsewhere, and then everything's under 40,000 miles or whatever. So that's what we do. And then I think people then get to know you, but that's not, it might be worth just to try stocking a few and then see. And if you don't like it and you hate it, and try something else.
Or something else. I think that's what it's all about.
I can't see you hating it. It'll be like a comfortable pair of slippers. You'd be like, I know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then like that might allow you to be a bit braver with some of the other things if you know. So if you've obviously got a kind of stock profile of what you would like long term. That if you want to get somewhere, that's probably a big backup plan, like a sure check way of getting to wherever you want to go. If you've got that in the background all the time, you're like, I'm going to sell X amount of Hyundai and Kias every single month. I know how quickly they sell. As long as I can buy them in, that's that gone, and I can focus on some other bits if I want to. But you never know, you might just fall back into it again, and it's comfortable, but at least it's something that's guaranteed, because if you've got a recipe in this trade, stick to it and enjoy it, which is what quite a few of us do. We've got a certain sort of product and formula, and sometimes it is safer to stick with what you know.
And it should serve as well.
Have you got like a ultimately, obviously you are so fresh to it.
Yeah.
Have you got like a 5-year what you want, where you want to be, what you want to be selling?
So, well, it's all, I think everyone wants to sell lots of the German stuff early on. I think it's our goal is we're just we do. Mate, I think to have a comfortable amount of cars, say 30 cars, that's a 12-month goal. We haven't really looked too much into the future because we've been concentrating on getting everything off the ground, trying to perfect the little things that we can, like taking the photos, trying to get the cars prepped. So I think having 30 cars in 12 months' time, I think that's a realistic goal that we'd try and aim for. When we were creating the business plan, we said we'd like to sell at least 150 cars in the first year, which I don't think is unachievable. We just got to keep buying correctly if we can.
Yeah, but it's 12 months, isn't it? So it's one every couple of days or so, isn't it?
Yeah, we've sold 7 so far this year, so I think we've got off to a good start, and that's been a varied range of cars. I'm talking about going into 12, talking about 12 months and going into next year. So a big thing again that we've discussed and not really thought whether it is a good idea or not is whether we should become FCA regulated to offer finance, because of the cost implications to the business, and we are also set up with car finance 24/7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can get companies to do it for you now, or can hold your hand through getting the FCA licensed. And I would think if you're looking forward and you're going to be selling cars at 8, 10, 12, 15 grand, I think it's worth having. I think you limit your market if you don't, because you'll be fine selling cars up to say 6, 7, 8 grand. Once you get over that, like cars like the Mini you've got there, that's a perfect finance car. So
get a lovely PX in against it as well.
Yeah. So I would, I know James has given his Chops has given his FCA or is giving his FCA license back, but he's selling cars at 5 grand in Devon, whereas you're going to be selling cars in and around Birmingham, Worcester, quite cosmopolitan places. I think it's worth doing, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on there about how difficult it is, and it is
a little bit. Yeah,
it's a pain in the arse, and doing the report each year is a pain in the arse. But I think if you actually worked out how long it takes you to do that report, do your bits and bobs, how much finance.
We spend more time moaning about the reports and the tests that we have to do
and how long it takes to do it.
Tests.
Yeah.
Like Chops has done, the amount of videos that Chops has done, he's going to get upset with me about this, but you can eat shit. If he spent as much time moaning about the FCA, okay, he could have probably completed 20 FCA applications.
To be fair, we had to do, well, when I was working for Kia, we did have to do all those tests every year as a sales executive to be able to sell the finance.
That's the trip to McDonald's. That's it. You could go to McDonald's and back in the same time as long as it takes to go and do that FCA test. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. It's fucking boring. The questions are dog shit. Nothing makes sense. They say the same thing in a different way. But It protects you legally. You get where you need to go. You get a nice little plaque at the end of it. Happy days. But like Theo says, it will work for you. I completely, you seem to have your head screwed on as to what you want. You've got a very, very nice roadside pitch that I have found now. And I think it would be a shame if you couldn't offer finance, especially as you're next to a petrol station. So if somebody sat there in a petrol station, you're like, finance available from $129.99 a month or something like that. That would be a really good thing from the side of the road, if that's the road that you want to go down. I know you said you've got an agreement at the moment with Car Finance 24/7. They are a good company, but I wouldn't necessarily put that on as a billboard, if that makes any sense.
No. Okay.
So I wouldn't have that as like your main, I am connected to Car Finance 24/7. Not saying that they muddy the waters, but if you are selling more prestige vehicles, you might want to pick a more mainstream finance company to pin the tail and the donkey off. Does that make sense? I'm trying to be really politically correct.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The first for everything.
He's finding it very difficult.
That's so painful. Oh. So, okay. So that's, I think 100% you should go and get yourself a finance license. And I would start now because it's a 6-month process. Okay. During your process, obviously you can get a local finance rep or a finance company to do it. I believe all the big lenders will assist you with it.
So they'll help us with obtaining the license itself.
Yeah, so I'll send you a list of a couple of finance brokers that will assist you to do it with them. Obviously, there's no written rule and there's no contract, but they would at least expect you to carry on doing a little bit of business with them if they've helped you do your FCA application.
There are some others. You've got like the compliance guys, and I think if you go onto the IMDA, which is that there's some people on there that will help.
Through Mesh. I think they'll help you out with that one as well. But obviously they are paid services. If you're happy to pay for it to get someone else to do it, but there are ways around it, getting it done for free.
Yeah.
Which I'll happily send over that information.
Actually, we're trying to keep our overheads as low as possible. That's why I didn't know whether it'd be worth obtaining the license and paying the money for it.
Yeah, it'll pay you back very quickly.
Yeah.
You got to do one deal and it's paid for. So, and it'll be a car that you wouldn't have sold before. One deal a year and it pays for itself. I'm a firm believer of that. So
yeah. Are you running with all your own money, Adam? You and Josh?
Yeah. So to start, when we were selling the cars from our little garage, we put that money forward. So the insurance to initially start up cost us, it was at $8,500. So we put down a £4,500 deposit, and we had to put a £3,000 deposit down on the pitch itself. And then there's £1,000 a month. So that helped us get off the ground. And then we put all of our own money into buying the stock.
Yeah. How old are you?
27.
Okay. Cool.
out of the box.
Fresh. I am. Straight out of the womb.
In 4 years' time, you'll be as grey as this, won't they?
I look like a fucking badger. I
don't
know what you're on about.
A little bit for the sideboards.
You youngsters. So what else have you got for us then? What do we want to delve into? So we've established that FCA, we would highly recommend that you get after that, and I can give you the information afterwards to help you get on board with that.
Well, I've taken a few decent points in the pocket landline. The finders on my website, maybe Specialized, look at more Kia, Hyundai, but FCA you would definitely recommend. Another question I wanted
to get WhatsApp tagged into your website as well. You need to get the WhatsApp app. So Car Dealer 5 will do that for you, I believe. If not, there's other websites that do it. But yeah, you can get because then it's quite a nice way of getting all the contact details from the customer.
Yeah. I think it's quite
free. It's free that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I gave up Visitor Chat, which was across the two sites, £460 a month, and gone to WhatsApp, and it's free. And we've had a better service because we can actually chat to them. Would recommend.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it definitely, because when you're setting up a new business, I think everyone's the same. That everyone just tries to sell you and bombard you with everything all at the same time. And sometimes it's a little bit
subscription.
Going. Yeah, that's it. And you don't know what's the best things to go for, what's not a good things to go for, because you want to give yourself the best opportunity and sign up to them all. But it is a lot of money. But another question that I did have was on warranties. So you can see that we sell a varied range of cars at different ages, different mileages. but we're not sure. We use Warranty-wise at the minute, but we don't know whether to cut off at a certain age car, of whether we just give our customers maybe a 30-day guarantee, or warrant all the cars for them.
Okay, so I use AutoGuard, and I can say that over the years I've been through most of the big names in and out throughout the years, and including Warranty-wise, there's one of them. And I can say from my experience that they are the best one from a customer service and towards the customer on the other end. So we have a pot warranty scheme. So we pay, I think it's £120 per car. We get an £18 surcharge, and then the pot is ours to work with, which allows us to go above and beyond if we wish to. But also as well, you've got a call centre person on the end of the phone that will tell you what is a sensible rate to be paying for these repairs, and if the customer's being unreasonable. And it just, from our perspective, it takes the pain of all the phone calls away. And also as well, customers tend to be a little bit more pleasant towards a warranty person and more understanding than they do to us as salespeople. So it gives you that sort of extra. But we also sell the extended warranty. So I think the one that we do the most of at the moment is, it's not a 12-month warranty. You get the first 3 months free and then a further 12 months on top. So 15 months for 425 quid. And it's not a hard sell. And they do all of the promo work for us. It's just it's a nice setup. And it's not the right one. It might not be the best one, but that's from my experience, that's what's worked for me. And I've tried probably 7 different companies, and they're the one that I've been the most comfortable with. But I've ended up having a really nice relationship with a rep, which I also think is really important, because a lot of these warranty companies are the same. If you have a nice relationship with the rep, sometimes that is the best thing. Like if they want to work with you, that's number one. So like I said, there's other companies out there.
We do our own, because we've got a workshop on site, so we do our own warranties, but the upsell warranties that we do are also with AutoGuard. So we found them pretty good. Not like James says, we don't do anything like the amount James does, because we do our own self-funded one. But that's because we've got a slightly different, we've got workshops and everything here, so it makes life easier. But yeah, they've always been good to us, AutoGuard. I know that Joe uses another pot warranty, BAA, who are on one of the podcasts, I believe. So there's quite a few out there, but I think having a pot warranty is quite a good idea, because
that's what I wanted to.
You're still in control of it, but you don't.
Yeah,
you're on the end of the phone.
I think you can withdraw money back from some of them as well. But because I'm at the minute using Warranty-wise, I looked at a couple of cars, because we sold a Mazda 6.5, which was a 65 plate. Done 98,000 miles, but the cost of the warranty it seemed extortionate. I think it was because of the age of the car, but we may not necessarily use it.
Was it a 2.2 diesel?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be that's part of the problem with some of these companies, is they'll make it look cheap throughout most of it, and then every now and again they'll have a certain car and they'll fucking sting you on it.
Yeah,
so
maybe
it
would be a good thing to look at.
Yeah, so this is why we use AutoGuard, because they're very transparent. Something is if you can't put a warranty on it, we'll either give the customer a different option, or they won't send us a massive bill for it. So that's just something to watch out for. And that was something I experienced with Warranty-wise in the past when I was with them. Like every now and again you'd get a car that was 4-wheel drive or had an engine over X amount of cc, and they'd be like, bang, 648 quid for a warranty. And you're like, whoa, and it is out there. Like, obviously I respect those cars go wrong, and they are more likely to go wrong in a 12-month period. So the cost should be higher. But if you're selling X amount of products a year, it should level itself out, which they don't tend to do. So yeah, I think that's, and also as well, at the moment you've got on the warranty page on your website at the moment, it just says Warranty-wise. Like that should be full up with all the stuff that it doesn't do, guides, telephone numbers, how to get hold of you if you've got an issue. That's something that it should be loaded with information, because if somebody does have an issue, that's the first place they're going on your website.
Yeah. We'll make a note of that, because that's a very useful point.
Okay. And what I would also recommend, I know obviously everybody does everything different, is if you can deal with your warranty claims via email, a lot of the time nowadays it will be more efficient because you'll be able to make sure that the customer follows a process. It's slightly different for Theo because he's got a garage next door to him. But if you don't have your own garage, it's a lot easier to work the process if you can do stuff via email.
Okay. It's an interesting point.
Well, it keeps it all written down as well. So if things escalate and things, if they haven't quite followed the way that you've outlined it to them and things get, if things, God forbid, and hopefully you'll never have that, but the chances are selling used cars, you will at some point.
You will have it and it will be unpleasant. And you've probably had it in the main dealer.
Well, you've had to buy one back already.
With the email side of it, people are 90% less likely to call you a CUNT on an email, than they are when they ring you up on the phone. So it's normally a nicer transaction all round. As long as you reply within a reasonable amount of time, I think it's a safer way of doing it then that's what we do. It's, we've got someone that works from home, just does emails, just organises everything, organises the garages. And it's a really nice setup, and it has been for quite some time. So not saying that's the right thing to do, but it's something you could manage yourself, but you could do it from anywhere. So if you weren't in the office, you can still manage it.
Yeah. But I think it's putting in, what I take from that is to maybe put a process in place of when we do come up against some warranty claims, because trying to think of everything at the minute and things that we need to do, I've sort of been doing little bits here, little bits there, constantly writing lists of what to do. But if I put a warranty process in place, I think that would really, really help on how we respond to the customers.
The whole thing about running an efficient car dealership, there's two of you, which is helpful. If it was just you, then it would be really, but there's two of you. So there's two of you that can take the load of setting up a business and doing it all. But it is just, the whole thing is just efficiency. If you can over process things, definitely. But if you just get it all in your own head, how you want it, how it's going to work. And it ends up just being rinse and repeat all the time. Just rinse and repeat the same thing over and over again. And then climb the mountain then. But yeah, it's just getting those processes in place in the first place. And the quicker you can do that and get everything, that conveyor belt just rolling, then you'll soon be flying. Where are you buying your stock from?
So where we signed up to Sytner Auction, BCA, G3, just got onto Motorway, just got onto Dealer Auction as well. But what we're finding with Motorway is the prices, people are bidding a lot higher on some of the cars. I know that you've got a good understanding of the car, but the prices just seem to be a lot. And I think everyone asks the same questions. How do people work on these small margins?
They don't. They get there and they kick the customer to death. Is what happens. We don't use it, so it's just not time efficient for us to scroll through 1,500 cars to bid on 20 and win none of them.
Yeah. Is there a reason you don't have Manheim yet?
We're in the process of looking at it. I think it was one because it needed it. There was a cost to join, so we just left it right until the end.
Manheim.
I have heard good things about Manheim. Yeah, there was a £70 charge.
Oh right. Oh, I'd pay that. You learn that immediately by just getting some of the better reports. So, because you've got Manheims dotted all around you where you are, haven't you?
I'm not sure where the nearest one is.
You've got Bristol, Gloucester. Okay. Got quite a few sales going through as well that would probably be the kind of stock profile that you like. So they do end of lease Kias and Hyundais, and that's in Bristol, and they are reasonable. So as long as you can do whatever you like, but as long as you stay away from the EV ones, because nobody wants to buy a microwave. Did you sell them? Did you have to sell electric cars where you were?
I did. I think my business partner more so. I think that's the main reason why I wanted to get out of the trade, because of all the EV stuff, all the hybrid. There's a lot more training involved from a technician's point of view. And
people don't catch fire. Don't put the battery terminals together. Don't run people over because nobody can hear you. Yeah, fucking hate them. So,
well, some of them have them stupid noises. Yeah,
it's still shit though, isn't it? It's not an engine.
But I worked in retail sales, so I did a lot of the electric cars. They were fleet lease cars, company cars, so I didn't really get too much involved. We still sold the odd one here and there, but not too many. But I think it's sort of pushing a lot of people out of the trade, or the EV stuff.
Is Josh going to be doing the mechanics then? Is he going to be doing the mechanics?
Yeah, so he does for example, this week we sold a Mini on Saturday, a little Cooper S 07 plate, and the heaters weren't working. So he's just going to take the dash out, maybe replace the heater, fan the resistor. I'm not sure what needs to be replaced. So we'll do soft stuff like that. We've got a really good diag machine as well, so we can do some of the diagnostics. And if we diagnose it needs something big, we'll just send it down to the garage and they can look after it, servicing it.
You've got a garage you've got a relationship with?
Yeah. We've got a place that we've been using down the road. They do our timing belt stuff.
Nice.
And some of the major components. The only thing we yet to find around us, which would be really good, is a body shop that we can do some of the bigger stuff with. So we do have a smart repairer that's local, but a body shop is something that we'll need, buying the cars from the auction especially.
There'll be plenty available in and around Worcester and Birmingham probably. I suppose you don't want to be taking cars across there, do you? But Worcester would be all right.
Yeah. I'd have to. That's something that we need to keep an eye out for, a good body shop. After I did have another question written down, but it is. I know you said part of the Auto Trader stuff. It is only touching on it very, very slightly of whether, because I do use Auto Trader to list all of my cars, but I just pay for each individual package, each individual listing, because it works better for our cash flow. Does it generate more leads if you do buy the standard package, or would you just get the same amount? Because I'm not bothered about all the analytics.
You're not bothered about that?
No.
Don't bother then. If you're not bothered about the analytics, then I wouldn't. I mean, for me, that's one of the biggest parts of it. So for me, it's important, but I'm OCD weird. I like some figures and
Other
stuff.
stats.
But yeah, if it's not, then if you're happy with pay as you go, I would carry on with pay as you go. If you're tying stuff into a package, the starter package would be the one to go, which is like the very basic package. I don't think it makes a huge difference what package you're on.
No. Well, it was just from the point of view of whether it generates more leads or not.
I wouldn't know, because I've never been on the page. I've always had a package, so I honestly...
Okay, because when they try and sell it to you over the phone, they say, "Oh, we can bump you up the listings. You'll get this many more inquiries."
If you get on a package and you go on to like they'll always try and put you on a higher grade package, and you get a lot more connections or leads, or you don't get more leads, you get more views.
You get more views, yeah.
All you care about is selling the car, isn't it? So I would say if you're on pay as you go and you're happy with that and you're not bothered about the figures, and
no, because we put a car up for 6 weeks. We had a Ford Fiesta that we did sell on Sunday. So because you pay for it on the pay as you go, you pay for 6 weeks. And if we get into that 4th, 5th week and it's not really getting much traction, we'll just strip all the money out of the car and then we'll just get rid of it quickly.
How do you price the cars then? You look on Auto Trader and see what they're going for, do you?
Work backwards, yeah. Just go for exactly the same spec of the car. Just work the way back to hopefully give us a decent little margin in the car.
What do you think? What sort of margins are you trying to achieve?
We've had so many varied margins on cars. We've made £500 out of one and then £2,200 out of another. So we do aim for, in our business plan, it was £1,000 a car. So we
net. Is that net? With everything done, £1,000 a car.
Yeah. Before VAT.
So I've had a little moment. I don't know why I get really upset about the whole Auto Trader thing, but I'm going to talk about it properly with a level head, hopefully. I think what you're doing at the moment, pay as you go, is going to be the best way for you to do it. I don't have the exact figures and data, so I can't give a fully educated guess, but I'm pretty confident that I am right. Where else are you advertising?
Motors. Motors.
Is that eBay Motors or just Motors?
Motors, so you got eBay, Motors themselves, Kazoo and Gumtree. And we have had quite a lot of traction from that. I think we've had 8 leads this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some cars that do perform really well on there. There's some don't.
Sub 5k bracket that do really well.
That's about as many leads as I had in 12 months.
Oh, really? Does it? Maybe it's not for the lower mileage stuff. Because I think if you're looking on eBay, you're a certain type of buyer, and you only go.
Yeah, and that's why we're with Auto Trader, and I've said it hundreds of times. That's why Auto Trader works for us, because of the type of cars that we sell. And James sells different types of cars, which is why Facebook and so on works for him. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I've just managed to find you here on Facebook. So you've got 2 likes and 3 followers. Daytona Car Sales. So anyone that is watching the channel, you probably want to get on there and give them a follow so you can follow your journey. Are you going to update your little journey on Facebook so we can all keep an eye on you?
Yeah, we've got a YouTube channel as well. So that's Daytona Car Sales. So I have commented a little bit on there to start our journey. My little days out to BCA. Hopefully I'll be as big as Joe one day.
Yeah, you might want to, I don't know how far you want to go into it. Maybe just pay for a little bit of, not necessarily per advert, but on Facebook, just pay to promote your Facebook page in the local area, maybe like £2 or £3 a day.
Okay.
That would be a really helpful way to start. And then the ergonomic traffic will get itself going. So have you got Meta Business on your phone for Facebook?
I haven't, no.
So write that one down. That's a good one. So that allows you to post on Instagram and Facebook at the same time and manage both Instagram and Facebook leads.
Okay, because we're quite big on the Instagram stuff.
But not on Facebook, which is
no.
Facebook's the best place for getting the hook leads that you weren't normally going to get before. Okay. And you can manage all of that from the Meta app. And also as well, you can do paid promotions on there. So you can, if you have got a car in and you're like, do you know what? I love this car. This is awesome. I really want the world to know about it. You can boost it within an 80-mile radius so people can come in and they can get a, sort of like it's very, very aggressive traction online if you want to get going quickly with it. But it depends if that's the route that you want to go down. But I'm happy to give you as much information on that as possible.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. But that's something that blows my mind, the Facebook stuff.
Yeah, it did with me. And James got me into the got me on Meta Business, and it does make life a lot easier, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's one app for 2 things that you think you're using, and you do one post and it posts on both platforms, bang, done, and you can monitor all the analytics immediately. So I was going to see if I could screen share it, but I'll give you, what I'll do is I'll just get it up on my phone so you can have a better idea of how easy it is to use. So I've logged into the app and you get an insight as to, I don't know if so you can see like how much information that we've got there. And it's so simple. It tells you how much you spent on each car, how many people have seen it, etc.
Okay. So the Google page.
It's basically a Google page. There's lots of graphs. It's very busy, but it gives you all the numbers that you want to see. So you know if a car's performing. So you'll either have 20,000 people have viewed it or 10,000. You'll be like, oh, why is that? But some cars perform better than the others. So if something's a bright colour, it normally performs better than a car that's just like grey, silver, black. It could just be down to that. But just stick with the process and, keep following it, chipping away with it. And it does grow as you go, if that makes any sense, as long as you give it attention.
Compound interest over time.
James, that's a question from me. Have all your sales guys got the app then and your login, is it? So then they can all post, or is it just all through you?
Yeah, so we've got a company telephone down in the front office, which they've both got access to. And you can open up Meta Business on your desktop. So basically they can message customers on Messenger and speak to all of them on there as well. So they'll have, and it comes through a notification on your normal computer. So I can add them onto it as a personal Facebook. So anyone that's in the sales team, I can add them so they can see it at home. So some sales guys, like on a Saturday night, every Wednesday, one of the sales guys gets a day off. So on a Tuesday night, if they're in on their own on a Wednesday, they'll go through the leads and book in appointments for the Wednesday. Or if they're in on Friday, if they're in on Saturday and they're on the Friday night, they'll go in and tippy-tappy all their stuff in there. So it is really good and really efficient way of getting all the leads. Danny Bond is obviously the Jedi Master Guru Ninja Chopper with all of that. I'm having a good go at it, but it is worth it, and I would recommend it. And then obviously on the next part of the scale, I'd give Car Gurus a little poke if you want to go down the budget route, because it's £10 per car per month. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is nothing. It's throwaway money.
I haven't considered car gurus because when I did work for Kia, some of the leads that came through and it only gives you an email address, didn't give you a phone number. So
Yeah, so that was because they were on the free package.
Okay.
They hadn't been paying for that. So there was no pictures and you get a lot of spurious email addresses. Once you're on the paid package, you get an email address, contact them, same as you would with any other lead.
And that's only £10 per car for the month. That's definitely worth a go.
The good thing with car gurus, which I've been sort of not plugging them, but I've developed a little bit of a relationship with car gurus. I've only recently found out how aggressively they advertise on Google. I had no idea.
Yeah, they're on it.
They are an absolute nuisance on Google, but in a good way. Like, they're at the end of the day, you're paying for a service. I logged onto somebody else's internet browser because I've got all the little pop-up bits switched off. I hate it when stuff interferes with my internet browser. So I logged in on someone else's computer and it was all down one side in a bar was car gurus, all the cars in the local area. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was delighted with it. So, it's, I like that, you learn something new every day. And it's obviously, we seem to be doing really well out of it. I think we're selling between 7 and 12 cars a month off the back of it. And that, I've got the data to back it up. So
And how many cars have you got, James?
70-ish.
70. That's
So then there's some leads that might come through that I don't know whether they are from car gurus. I don't necessarily know whether they're Facebook car gurus or they've, bled into the other stuff. The bigger you get, the easier it is to get mixed up with the numbers. When you're smaller and you've got 10, 15 cars, it's a lot easier to analyze all the data. But I can guarantee that it's about 10 to 12 that I'm getting off the back of that. So, I think, again, it's throwaway money. Anyone that wants to have a go at it, you'd be bonkers not to. And the contract's only 6 months as well.
I'm giving it a whirl.
And once you've, so it's £10 for that one car. So if you go over the month, you'll then be charged again for that.
No, so it is a package, but it works out to be, so it works out.
Okay.
We've got 45 cars, or that's how much the package is, or 40 cars or whatever, and it's about £400 a month. So it works out to be about £10 per car. But it's a 6 month contract initially. There's no upfront fee or anything like that. So
that seems like a no.
It'll run off your Car Dealer 5 feed as well, I'm pretty sure. You don't have to do any more work. So you haven't got to be posting it here, posting it there. Car Dealer 5.
You won't have to do any work. You'll literally upload the car onto your website. They'll do the rest of it and you get the leads come in separately.
Yeah.
Super.
So from an efficiency point of view, it's very efficient.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's
what was appealing about Motors, because they take it straight from Car Dealer 5. So I didn't want to be posting cars here, there and everywhere.
Yeah.
No. So
I play some really helpful stuff.
You can have a busy.
I thought I'd done a really, really good job at setting up in January, but it just shows you can't think of everything, and you do need to.
Yeah, but you have to. I think you have done a good job. You should definitely be pleased with what you've done so far. If you've sold 7 cars, it's quite a few points you've made, but it's not massive. It's not insurmountable, huge flaws in your business. It's like.
But it is things that will make us more efficient in the future.
Yeah. And that's what it is all about. It's just getting into that, like I said before, it's just getting into that efficiency, rinse and repeat. And and I think it'll work out, definitely. I would say on your website, I quite liked it, but I'd try and, you're obviously trying to make sure all the pictures look the same, which is good.
Yeah.
And then are you doing a little walk around? I've
done a couple. I did do a couple to start with, but I've run out of time. I was trying to travel here, there and everywhere and do videos at the same time. I couldn't juggle it all. So it is something that I would like to do. At least I was trying to do 30 photos on each car. I don't know if that's important because there's only so much spec that you can show on
I think we do it different. I do loads. So mine have all got like 60. I think James streamlines his a little bit more. 10. There you go. So it's each to their own on that. But I prefer
because I link it to all the stuff I do on Facebook. I've got a system where I take 10 photos. Maximum you're allowed to upload on Facebook is 10. So I sort of pocket myself so I don't spend 8 hours cherry picking photos. Yes, we could do a better job. But the numbers that we turn around, I try and make my time as efficient as possible. And that's something obviously you can work on later on down the line once you've got where you want to be with all these little fine points. But what Theo said is you need to take away from this, you're doing a really good job at the moment. And I don't think you're going to struggle getting the money in the bank. The difficult bit is keeping it there, i.e. the warranty stuff, the processes, buying the right car, getting the prep right, that sort of stuff. That's going to be where that's going to be the difficult part of your journey. But I think if we get one of those things right for you and we help you out with that, again, we've done a superb job. We've done our bit here.
No. I think you've put a lot more ideas in my head.
And you are in a really good location. So
why would you say that? You know, I'll be 30 minutes away from you.
No, I was in the road. It's a busy road.
In a really lovely area. Just know where I live. Lovely.
Yeah.
So have you got any, I know it's new and that sort of stuff. Have you got any affiliations with anywhere local? Have you got involved with anything local yet? So football teams, main football teams, kids football, anything. Are you involved with anything locally that's made you part of the community?
We have been in contact with a local football team, a kids football team. We haven't took it further down the line because the guy wanted to come and see us, but we were in the process of setting up. So it may be something that we look at in the future because it is quite a local, close-knit community where we are, just outside of Inkborough.
Yeah. If you want local customers, you have to interact with the local community. So you have to kind of figure out what's important to them. Like if they have a fete in the summer or they close off the town square that's local to you, it's probably a moment where you should probably buy in and have a stand there or something like that. So that, because of the demographics where you are, it's a little bit, it's not quite rural, but it's very spread out where you are. You will need to interact with the local community to sort of put your stamp on it and go, I'm here, I'm a nice guy, they'd like to meet you, this is our little business, like, please buy from us locally. That would be something else that you might want to look at doing as well.
And it's not expensive to do either.
No.
So, yeah, I would definitely get yourself
than anything else.
People's, especially as you're new, and people will drive past it and they'll go, "Oh, what's that?" But if you've been out and they've seen it and they've seen you in public and they've seen you on a football shirt or they've seen you, I don't know, at Worcester Warriors Stadium or something, or I don't know, whatever. Then then they drive past and they go, "Oh yeah, that's."
I saw them in so and so place. Yeah, we'll make because I did park that at the back of my mind.
So we've got a sign. James does a lot of Plymouth football. We've got our local town in Ross. We've got a sign up, and then Hereford, who I'm a season ticket at, I've got a big sign on the stadium there. I think you want to try and get in people's.
Yeah, I'll have to go to Birmingham and then see if they can get a sign on the ground.
Yeah,
and it's not expensive. It'd be a good time now to get board at Birmingham City if that's your club. Because they're on the way up, aren't they? So
I reckon I reckon they might have a double bounce actually, football related. But I think if they go,
I completely agree with their bank balance at the moment. So yeah, they are. They've done a nice job there, and obviously I know you got young Jay Stansfield there, and he's obviously the Plymouth guys don't particularly like an Exeter City player, but he is excellent.
Used to play for us. His dad used to play for us, Adam.
Oh, Adam Stansfield. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But the board that we've got at the minute, it's going back into efficiency. That they've just come in and they've overhauled everything and they've just perfected everything. They have brought in a lot of stuff from America, but they've just made everything so efficient and everything it looks like a well-oiled machine from the outside.
It works in a business that's hundreds of millions, and it can work in a business that's
absolutely, Theo. Yeah, I agree.
It's all about efficiency.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Have you got anything else that you want to ask us before we wrap it up?
I've gone through the questions that I wanted. No, I haven't got anything else. Thank you very much, both of you.
What
Pleasure.
I would like to know is, currently at the moment, what is your favourite part of your working day?
What is the favourite
as
part?
a new car dealer? Obviously, because you are fresh out, but I know you've done it for years. But as a self-employed car dealer, what is the favourite part of your working day?
Do you mean as in a job that I like to do?
No, when you go, like you get to lunchtime, like I have some, so I come in before everybody else. So I come in about 2 hours before we open and I do a load of paperwork. I get 2 hours on my own every morning. and I fucking love it. I feel like I've broken in, the lights are all off, and I feel like it's a naughty pleasure, but it's actually my time where I get to do all my paperwork. That's my favourite time of my working day. A lot of people, especially when it's your first one, is putting the key in the gate, or opening the office door when you get in and going, this is my little empire, little moments like that. Or, when you sell the cars, there's a million and different experiences, but I just wanted to gauge sort of what's your favourite part of it. So obviously, if anybody that's watching this, they could sit there and go, do you know what? That's his favourite part of the day. Maybe I'll try and catch him there.
Do you know, I like just walking, so I like to check if I've adjusted any prices. I just like walking up and down, checking the cars. And because we're out we look over to the hills in the countryside. So I'll just stand out in there. I'll take a little moment. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pinch me moment, because when you get into the day-to-day stuff, you don't really take in how well you've done up to that time. So I think it's walking up and down the pitch, making sure that the cars are priced, making sure that they look tidy and in line. Yeah, I think that's what I enjoy the most. Just taking everything in.
Yeah, I love it. It is sometimes, when you do step back, I'm terrible for not doing it, but sometimes I do try, and you're like, bloody hell.
I think we should do it a lot more. Yeah, that's right. Because you get hard, you do get on top of yourself sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, that's lovely to know, so I appreciate that. So if you can let us know where we can find you, website address, and where we're going to see you in 6 months' time, please, that would be fantastic. Go for it.
So website address is Daytona-automotive.co.uk. On Instagram, you can find us at Daytona Automotive Group. And Facebook, Daytona Car Sales. And also, if you type into YouTube, you'll also find us on Daytona Car Sales. Because we haven't got many videos on there, it might be a little bit hard to find, so you just have to do a little bit of digging. 6 months' time, hopefully I've got 25 cars on the pitch. That's what I'd like to be in.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. That is fantastic.
We'll catch up in the autumn then, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're not too far away, Theo.
No.
You pass
Drop in visit.
Yeah. Thank you very much, chaps.